So there are songs and music out there that may have lyrics or messages that you may feel uncomfortable performing, but the songs themselves are highly requested and highly popular. And this puts you in a bit of a dilemma. Should you just go ahead and perform the songs anyway, or should you not perform them and hold to your standards, but risk not being seen as a good band, artist, or musician? Well, let's talk about it. Hey, and welcome to Music Space, where we help working musicians just like you learn how to quickly and easily make a living with your craft. So if you're new here to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded. So when it comes to this predicament of holding your morals and values as it concerns performing certain songs, because let's face it, it's really about values and morals here, it can really be a tough situation. I mean, there actually are songs out there that have questionable lyrics and have questionable ideas, like ideas of explicit sex and drugs and womanizing and things like that, that we tend to not hold as important or tend to shun off or not look at as a good thing. Or it may simply be the case that the songs or the music is written or performed by artists who have had questionable behavior. But on the other hand, you're in an industry where music and the beat and the rhythm and the feel and the groove are really what people care about, which translates into them having a good time. So what do? Well, I'll start by proposing the easiest solution possible, and that really is either you do the songs and perform them or you don't. It's really that simple. But I do want to give you some things to think about when you're trying to make that decision and give you a few more solutions as well. Now, I'm going to make a presumption that we all at least start out in agreement about what I would call the obvious situations when it comes to these things. So like, you don't want to be performing, say, at a elementary school with kindergartners and performing a song like WAP by Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. Or you probably don't want to be playing, say, at a church banquet, a religious banquet or something, and you're performing Let's Talk About Sex by Salt and Pepper. Those things are just not going to go over well. So we can agree that there are at least some circumstances where, there's what's called proper and improper songs to perform. Now, with that off the table, the first thing to understand about this whole situation is this is your dilemma. And what I mean by this is that it's most likely the case that the issues that you're having with the songs or the music that you're wanting to perform or not perform are unique to you. It's not likely that there's a huge group of people or a huge audience that thinks about the songs and the music the same way that you do. And this is really important because a lot of times we tend to think that other people view the same things the same way that we view them. And if you perform a particular song that you happen to have a problem with, you tend to think that other people are going to have that same problem and, they'll get angry about it. And it's just not the case where that happens on any sort of regular basis. And in fact, if this is something that you're worried about, you probably should be equally worried about the opposite as well. I mean, you could be performing a song that you've never even given a second thought to about the lyrics or the message, and then somebody else may think of it in a different way and may be outraged that you perform it. And again, this is just something to keep in mind, that it's your dilemma when thinking about this, because it just gives you a little bit more leeway when you're trying to decide whether or not you're going to perform the songs or not perform them. Now, right before we get to the next thing, if you're getting value out of this video so far, do me a quick favor and hit the subscribe button and the like button on this video. Go ahead and do that now. See, that lets me know that you appreciate this content, and it lets me know what type of content I should be making for you in the future. Okay, so next, you need to think about your beliefs and your ideas about the music objectively. And what I mean here is that it's easy to think, for example, that just because a song has, some lyrics or talks about drugs, that it is also promoting drug use. And this isn't necessarily the case. This is one of these things that dates back to, music all the way back to the, gangster rap era, where, these artists were putting certain lyrics in their songs and they were being accused of promoting these ideas. And I definitely can understand how that line kind of gets blurred between the two, but again, they don't necessarily mean the same thing. So you really have to work to put your bias aside about your ideas about whatever the song is you have a problem with, and think about it objectively. Think, is this song really saying what I think it's saying, or is it possible that it's talking about something else entirely different? And if it's something that concerns you on that level, do your due diligence about it. Research the lyrics, research the artist, and look for, maybe interviews that they've done about the song, and look at what they say their intent is behind the music. This just gives you a little bit more clarity when you're trying to make this decision about performing the songs or not. And if nothing else, you become sort of vindicated in your actions or belief about it one way or the other. Either what you research determines or proves your beliefs as true, or they don't and they prove something otherwise, and that gives you a leg to stand on in the case where somebody may come and question you about the songs that you're performing. Now, something else that you can do is something that's really easy, and that's just simply to change the lyrics of the song to something else, or change it to what I like to call the clean version or the radio version. And this is really easy when it's simply the case where there's like some curse words or cuss words where I'm from, in the song that you may feel uncomfortable saying, or the song simply has a phrase or two that's questionable. Just get some words that rhyme with the words that you want to take out and put those in there instead, and boom, you're done. You could even make up some words to put in there if you want, because like I said earlier in this video, one of the things that you have going for you is that nobody really cares about that kind of stuff. So nobody's going to get mad if you say one word or if you don't say the curse word in the song. And if it's a really popular song, you can always just do that thing where you hold the mic out to the crowd and let them sing the words when it comes to that part of the song. So like CeeLo Green's song, "You're riding around town with the girl I love." You know the words. And also, if it's one of those things where it's the message of the song that you have a problem with, then one thing you can do is always just try to replace that song with a similar song that has a similar groove, similar tempo, beat, and feel to it. And it can be really that simple sometimes. It doesn't have to be this big thing where you're having this moral dilemma going on about choosing the songs or not performing the songs that you don't want to. Now, something I want to mention about this whole thing that's really important, and it's this. It's really easy to come off as self-righteous or sanctimonious or holier than thou when you're trying to communicate your feelings and your thoughts about particular songs that you may be uncomfortable performing. I've seen this many times with musicians and band members where, other people in the band start to look at them like, oh, they think they're all that. And then they start to judge them and pick their actions apart. They'll say stuff like, he or she doesn't want to perform this particular song because it has curse words in it, but I hear them cursing all the time. And the worst part about that is they're not going to say that kind of stuff to your face necessarily. They're going to talk amongst each other behind your back about it. And I'm not saying that it's necessarily something that's your issue or that you're doing that creates this problem. What I am saying is that when you have to communicate to other people, especially other band members who may not feel the same way that you do about the songs or the music, be careful to not come off as this sort of self-righteous person. And one way to do this is acknowledge this issue up front. So you could say something like, I'm not saying that I'm perfect or anything like that, because I'm definitely not, but this is just a song that I'm a little uncomfortable with performing. And if we just have to do it, I'll look for a way to, do it where I may not have to say certain words or lyrics, but can I also suggest a replacement for it? See, that's going to always come off better than that whole, oh, I'm not doing this song. Oh, this song has curse words in it. I can't do songs with curse words in it. Or, I can't do songs that talk about this particular thing. That just makes you come off as self-righteous. So all of this to say that if you have particular reservations or trepidations about performing particular pieces of music, or you're just uncomfortable with performing certain music, that's okay. We all have our lines that we draw in the sand about things. And that line is just more far-reaching for some than it is others. However, there is a part of this that you have to also understand, that you're in an industry that requires or that sort of demands particular things. And if you want to survive, for lack of a better word, in this industry, in the music industry, there may have to be a little give and take with these types of things. At the end of the day, the audiences and the people that you perform for simply want to have a good time. And they want you as a band, as an artist, as a musician to facilitate that good time for them. They don't care much about your morals and your values and all of that. They want to dance and have a good time and be merry. And again, for them, a big part of them having a good time comes through the music that they like to hear most. So they sort of expect the bands, the musicians, the DJs even, to play the music that they like to hear. Now, I'm not saying that you need to just perform the songs that you're uncomfortable with just because other people want to hear them. What I'm saying is that this is something that you need to keep in mind when you're trying to decide how you're going to handle this. But again, it may be something that you have to allow a little give and take on. But the question is for you. Do you have particular songs or music that you're uncomfortable performing or that you don't want to perform for particular reasons? If so, how do you handle it? Jump down in the comments and let me know. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on that. And hey, did you know that there are a bunch of free resources that I've put together just for you? Everything from a free ebook that gives you 10 tips on how to make more money as a musician to contracts that you can use to book high-paying gigs and much, much more. And again, it's all free and you can find the links to them in the description of this video. So be sure to jump down and check those out. And listen, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do hope that it was helpful for you and it provided some insight on this subject of trying to decide whether or not to do songs that you may be uncomfortable with. So here are some other videos that you can check out right now.